Welcome to another lecture by MedicoMedics, Learning Made Easy. Cell Biology, Chapter 11, Pathophysiology at the Cellular Level. We will here briefly discuss cellular stress responses, mechanisms of cell injury and mechanisms of cell repair, briefly talk about the role of cells in inflammation, and end with a summary. So, cellular stress responses. The definition here is reactions triggered when cells encounter adverse conditions like toxins or physical damage. Now we talk about different types of stress. We have oxidative stress caused by reactive oxygen species or ROS. And these damage DNA, proteins, and lipids. We have endoplasmic reticulum stress, resulting from misfolded or accumulated proteins in the endoplasmic reticulum. We have hypoxic stress, which occurs when cells are deprived of oxygen. Now, what are some outcomes of this? Well, we have, first of all, adaptation. So, for example, an increased antioxidant defense is activated if we are suffering oxidative stress and we have too much reactive oxygen species damaging our cells' structures. But if prolonged, there could be cell injury or death if the stress is severe or prolonged indeed. So when cells face challenges, indeed they try to adapt, but if the stress is too much, they can get damaged or even die. Now, what is the mechanisms of cell injury? Well, let's talk about some causes of injury. We have physical agents like actual trauma or burns like heat. There are chemicals and toxins that could cause injury like alcohol or heavy metals. Furthermore, we have infectious agents like bacteria, viruses, etc. Now, the mechanisms of injury then, to name a few, we have ATP depletion. Remember, ATP is our energy currency, main energy currency. So if this is depleted, it affects energy-dependent processes. Membrane damage, so it could lead to cell lysis or leakage of contents. Direct DNA damage, triggering repair pathways or programmed cell death, apoptosis. Now we talk about two types of injury. First, reversible injury, where cells recover if the injury is mild. We also have irreversible injury, leading to cell death, either through necrosis or programmed cell death, apoptosis. What are then some mechanisms of cell repair? Well, DNA repair mechanisms include base excision repair, where single base damage is fixed. We have homologous recombination, where repairs of double-stranded breaks are made. Another one is protein quality control, so unfolded protein response clears misfolded proteins in the endoplasmic reticulum. We also have proteasomes, which degrade damaged proteins. Another mechanism is regeneration, so cells regenerate lost or damaged structures through proliferation. So all in all, cells have repair teams that fix DNA, clear damaged proteins, and regenerate lost parts to stay healthy. So briefly then, what is the role of cells in inflammation? So we have inflammatory signals, where damaged cells release signals like cytokines and chemokines to attract immune cells. We then have immune cell recruitment, so neutrophils and macrophages remove dead cells and fight off infections. But we also have chronic inflammation, where persistent inflammation could lead to fibrosis or diseases like arthritis. So, inflammation is like calling emergency services to deal with some damage, but too much of it can actually harm healthy nearby tissues. And throughout your studies, in upcoming lectures in physiology and pathophysiology courses, etc., this will be a key part throughout your medical career, because whenever we face damage, internal, external, whatever the type of injury, we typically come across inflammation. Now, what normally we learn is a positive process. So, inflammation is the body trying to heal itself from damage. However, we then learn that inflammation, if it's not controlled or if it's extending, overextending, if it's prolonged, it could lead to the opposite effect, actually harming us, causing damage, destruction, etc. So, in summary, then, cells respond to stress by activating protective mechanisms like antioxidants or repairing damage. Severe injury could lead to cell death through apoptosis, which means programmed cell death, or necrosis, which is uncontrolled cell death. Cells play a key role in inflammation, attracting immune responses to deal with damage or infection. And that's the end of chapter 11. Continue now to chapter 12.